Yes, sir! What's up, MDB family? Back with another video. Today we're talking about the New York Knicks, and we're going to be breaking it down into 4 topics. We're going to be talking about who's on the roster for the Knicks, what will the starting lineup look like, what will the bench rotations look like, then we're going to get into what are the strengths and weaknesses of the team. So 4 topics. Going to get straight into it. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. We do new NBA videos every single week. If you guys are interested in these lineup videos, I did a bunch. They're on my channel. Just go check them out if you're interested. So we're going to start with topic number 1, which is who's on the Knicks roster this season. So this season there are a couple new faces, a couple faces missing. So we're just going to go down the list for the roster. So there's RJ Barrett, there's Braz Dacus, there's Alec Burks. They signed him in free agency. He's like a combo guard 1. He could play the 1 or the 2. He was coming off the bench in Philly, giving them some good minutes. I think he's a good pickup for the Knicks. There's Reggie Bullock. There's Jared Harper. There's Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. They picked him up in free agency as well. He's not much known for his offense. He's more so a defensive specialist. He's going to play some backup 4, and some backup 3 type minutes. So mainly at the 3 and the 4, just as a defensive specialist. So the Knicks have Kevin Knox. They have Nerlens Noel. They picked up Nerlens Noel in the free agency as well. He's like, I think this might be his 4th or 5th season. He's a center. He originally came from Philadelphia 76ers. He's a bit of a rim protector and rebounder type of guy, pick and roll type of guy. So that's what you can expect from him. Got Frank Ntilikina, got Elfrid Payton. They got Theo Pinson. They got Emmanuel Quickley, who they picked up in the draft. He's also a combo guard, probably about 6'2". Has some good speed on him. His shot needs to develop a little bit, but we'll see what he can offer the team. They got Miles Powell, Julius Randle, Austin Rivers, another player that they signed in free agency. So the Knicks didn't have any big name free agents, but they definitely picked up a lot of small names like Austin Rivers, Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks. So they got Mitchell Robinson, Dennis Smith Jr., Amari Spellman, Obi Toppin, and of course the coach is Tom Thibodeau. This is Tom Thibodeau's first year with the Knicks, so we're expecting some development for the young guys for sure. Hopefully winning some more games. Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. He's well respected in this league. We've seen what he was able to do at Minnesota and what he was able to do with the Bulls. He was also an assistant coach on the Celtics staff way back in the day. So we're hoping for good things from Tom Thibodeau. Now let's get into the second topic of the 4 topics, which is who will be on the Knicks starting lineup. So according to ESPN, this is the projected starting lineup that they have for the Knicks going into the regular season. Elfrid Payton at the 1, Alec Burks at the 2, RJ Barrett at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4, Nerlens Noel at the 5. Me personally, for the most part, I agree with this lineup. Some people might say, why isn't Mitchell Robinson starting over Nerlens Noel? The only reason I could think why the coaching staff wouldn't want to start Mitchell Robinson is because he's very foul prone. Like we saw yesterday, he only played 19 minutes in a preseason game. He picked up 5 fouls pretty quickly. So the only reason why I would see them not wanting to play Mitchell Robinson to start games is because he's so foul prone. But for the rest of the lineup, I pretty much agree. The only thing different that you might do is put RJ at the 2 and put Kevin Knox at the 3. But I think RJ's better served playing the 3 anyways. Keep Alec Burks on the floor. He can shoot and play make a little bit. Keep Payton on the floor. He's a good defender. Can play make a little bit. So that's pretty much the starting lineup I would go with. Knicks fans, let me know in the comments down below if you disagree with ESPN's starting lineup for the Knicks. Would you guys do anything different? So the lineup that ESPN has, once again, is Elfrid Payton, Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel. Now we're going to move into topic 3 of 4, which is what will the bench rotations look like for the Knicks? So we have the starting lineup. The bench rotations are going to work like this. So once Elfrid Payton comes onto the bench, then Frank Ntilikina is going to come onto him as the backup 1. Once Alec Burks goes onto the bench, then Austin Rivers is going to come on for him as the backup 2. Once RJ Barrett goes to the bench, Kevin Knox is going to come on as the backup 3. Once Julius Randle goes to the bench, Obi Toppin is going to come on as the backup 4. And once Nerlens Noel goes to the bench, then Mitchell Robinson will come on as the backup 5. So that's going to be your main backup, your bench rotations. You're going to see these guys come on for these guys. Deeper down the bench, you got Dennis Smith Jr., he's like the third string point guard. Emmanuel Quickly, he's like the third string shooting guard. Reggie Bullock, he's the third string small forward. MKG, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, he's going to be the third string power forward. And Omari Spellman will be the third string center. So the Knicks have 3 guys that can play at each of the 5 positions. A lot of these players can play multiple positions, so the Knicks are definitely covered in terms of depth. What is the talent level of that depth? That's a whole nother conversation, but they at least have players available to fill these positions. Now we're going to move into the 4th and final topic, which is what are the strengths and weaknesses of this Knicks team? In my opinion, I think that the Knicks team, the positives are, I think that they can rebound well. I think they have a good rebounding team. Julius Randle averaged about 10 rebounds last season. Nerlens Noel, he doesn't really average too many rebounds, but he doesn't necessarily get too many minutes. Like last year, he averaged 6 rebounds per game, but I'm sure if I looked at his per 36 minutes, it'd be closer to like 8 rebounds or 9 rebounds, something like that, because Nerlens Noel doesn't play that much minutes. So I think they have a good rebounding team. Obi Toppin, he averaged about 8 rebounds last year in college, so that's good. Mitchell Robinson, he averaged about 8 rebounds last year as well. So I think the Knicks have a good rebounding team. I think they have a lot. Another positive for the Knicks team is that they have a lot of youth and energy on this team. So RJ Barrett's a young guy, Obi Toppin's a young guy, Kevin Knox a young guy, Ntilikina a young guy, Peyton a young guy, Mitchell Robinson a young guy, so Randall a young guy. So I just expect the Knicks to play with a lot of high energy because of their youth. So I think that's another strength for the team. And I think one of the last strengths for this team is their wing rotation. I think the Knicks have a solid wing rotation with Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Kevin Knox. I think that's a solid rotation. Everyone in that rotation has length, can provide some offensive skill, and then provide decent defense. So now we're going to get into the weaknesses for the Knicks. So I think the weaknesses are their lack of elite guard play. In this league nowadays, you need elite guard play if you want to compete at the highest levels. I'm talking about backcourts like Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, John Wall, James Harden, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Van Vliet, and Lowry. These are teams with elite guard play, and I think that's something that the Knicks are lacking. Like their guards are Peyton, Alec Burks, Austin Rivers, and Frank Ntilikina. None of those players are elite guards, so that's one area of weakness I would say for the Knicks. So even though they have a strong wing rotation, their guard rotation is kind of weak in my opinion. And another area of weakness for the Knicks is three-point shooting. So the Knicks do have some three-point shooters, definitely no elite three-point shooters. Their best three-point shooter is probably Reggie Bullock, and he's a third stringer. Alec Burks is probably their second best three-point shooter. So the team, I feel like they could use some more three-point shooting. Peyton can't shoot. RJ Barrett can shoot somewhat, not really consistently. Ntilikina can't shoot. Austin Rivers can shoot somewhat. Knox can shoot. Obi Toppin can shoot. Randall, he can shoot inconsistently type shit. Like, he only averaged around 29% from 3 last year. So that's a weakness, I think, for the Knicks. I think three-point shooting and their lack of elite guard play. I think the positives are their youth, their wing rotation, and their rebounding. Anyways, I'm not going to drag this video on any longer, boys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do new NBA videos every single week. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this Knicks roster going into the season. How do you think the Knicks will perform, boys? Let me know. All right, peace.